The next one here is design bid build. This is a popular one in the United States in the construction industry here, where the owner contracts separately with a designer and a contractor. The next one I'll talk about here is known simply as design build. And in design build, we have one entity, the designer builder is responsible for all of the job. Responsible for the entire job. There you go. And looking at what we have left here, we have DBO, design, build, operate. And let's go down here. The hallmark of the design, build, operate arrangement is when a single contractor is selected to design, builds, and operates the facility for a period of time. All right. So we've talked about turnkey, design, bid, build, design, build, operate. And the final one to talk about in the PMBOK guide here is the boot. Let's talk about the build, own, operate, transfer. And in the boot arrangement, we see a delivery method used for large-scale infrastructure especially. We're talking about transportation infrastructure such as trains, train stations, rail tracks, things like that. The contractor is appointed to design and build a project, and we usually find a private entity, the construction firm, receiving concession from the public sector or the private sector on rare occasions to finance, design, construct, own, and operate a facility. So when we talk about boot, pretty much means build, own, operate, transfer. And the arrangements are stated in a concession contract. And this enables the contractor working on the project to recover the investment, operating, and maintenance expense in the project. And over a time period, of course, they recoup their initial investment, they make some money back. It's worth their while. And these are those mentioned in the PMBOK guide. There are others which I don't need to get into, but I wanted you to see the depth of coverage under the topic of procurement strategy, just talking about delivery methods alone. You can see it's pretty deep. But that's not the only thing we talk about there. There's more that is discussed. We talk about the contract type as well. So when you're taking a look at procurement, you got to remember the procurement delivery method separates the strategy from the plan. We also have in the procurement strategy, we could talk about the phases of the procurement, and we could also talk about the agreements, the types of agreements. Okay? Now, on the flip side, when we talk about the procurement management plan, we're talking about the how things will be done. You see, that is different. How procurement will work, how things will be coordinated and integrated. We're talking about the timetable for key procurement activities. So this will cover the how, it will cover the schedule for procurement related activities, it will cover the metrics that manage whatever contracts are going to be put in place. It will also cover any assumptions and constraints for procurement. It will also contain information on independent estimates. And it will also cover any information about pre-qualified sellers. Pre-qualified sellers. So I advise you to take a close look. There's a table in the PMBOK guide that distinguishes the difference between the procurement management plan, the procurement strategy, the statement of work, and bid documents. These are pretty important because they are all under something known as procurement documentation. Now, I wouldn't really classify the procurement management plan as such, but the PMBOK guide has. So I'll say pay close attention to page 481, read that. But the most important part that I wanted to call out, because it's not in the PMBOK guide in detail, is the procurement strategy. All right, so I hope that helped you, and I wish you all the best on your test. Bye for now.